Welcome, everybody. My speaker today is Dr. Michelle Lupkin, who's going to be speaking with us about body image and dating. Dr. Lupkin, can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Sure. I'm a psychologist based in New York, both Manhattan and Westchester, and I specialize in both children and adults with eating disorders, as well as those who might be experiencing suicidal thoughts and self-harm.
So, as someone who works with people who have eating disorders, what are some ways that you see that body image can mostly affect folks in dating?
Sure. I think that body image, whether you have an eating disorder or not, affects how you are in dating because it affects how you're able to present yourself to the other person, right? So, especially if you're feeling anxious or nervous about meeting someone and worried how they're going to perceive you, which I think everyone going on a first date or two is going to feel that way.
Mhm.
If you really have a lot of negative views about your body and yourself, that's going to come across when you're meeting somebody else.
So it really has a tendency to come out then.
Mhm.
How do you get it over the hump? How do you sort of deal with the issue that, a lot of people have, right? Imperfect bodies. How do you deal with the fact that, we all have that and we all live with that, and get over the body image issues to then move on to dating and not let it affect your dating?
Sure. I think it really, depends. Are we in the spectrum of body image issues that are leading to an eating disorder, right? Where there's a lot of interference in so much of your life versus what, unfortunately, many of us in our society and culture have of the body image that are the thoughts that are plaguing us day to day. So when we look at that group, part of how you get through it, and again, sometimes you can do it on your own, sometimes you might need the help of going to see a therapist, is what we call radical acceptance, accepting your body and looking not at your body in a very judgmental way, but learning, how do I describe my body, right? I have blue eyes, my face is oval shaped as opposed to I have a fat face, right? So thinking about the different language that we're going to use around speaking our body, and also accepting what parts of our body are really helpful to us and what aren't, right? And looking at it much more from that perspective of overall health rather than weight specific, which is really when body image is around, it's usually there's concerns about weight specifically or muscle tone. So I think it's learning acceptance of your body, both the ups and the downs of your body, and also learning to have a different language in describing your body. The other piece, and I think this goes with people who have a lot of concerns about how others perceive them, regardless of the reason, is thinking about self-validation, right? So what does self-validation mean? It's being able to really appreciate and validate what's difficult for you, what's not difficult for you, and using some loving kindness meditations. That's another one. I'm a firm believer in using loving kindness meditations, which you can find all over the internet. They really do work.
Great, thank you so much. And I also want to add, like, and I'm sure you see this too, but I know in my work I see men, women, and people who identify as neither male nor female, who have developed issues with body image and how that can affect their dating at times.
Sure. I think it affects your dating also depending on how much, both in your confidence, right? So if you're feeling negatively about your body, how you put yourself together will be different. How you appear, right? Like being able to look somebody in the eye, having your shoulders square, which are all body language communication that can be more positive or more negative depending about how you feel about your body. But the other is in the behaviors, right? So people who are very concerned about their body, even if it's not in the eating disorders world, right, might be spending so much time doing things to make their body different, whether it be dieting, exercise, that it's taking up so much time that they're not spending time really caring for themselves or investing in whatever relationship there might be. So that might pull you away from a relationship.
Yes, that's such a good point. So any final thoughts or tips for us that could be helpful to folks who, kind of have some body image challenges, and are moving into dating, or are dating maybe already, but ways that you can help them?
So I think part of it is really accepting who you are, what your body type is, and figuring out, how do I put my best foot forward? Sometimes it's also a fake it till you make it, right? So if you can appear confident, you will get a response from others that is likely to be more positive, and that in and of itself is going to help you feel better about yourself.
Mhm.
The other is really learning how can I self-validate and self-love, and describe rather than judge.
Great, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for speaking with us. Where can people who are interested find a little bit more about you and the work that you do?
Sure. The best way right now is to shoot me an email at michelle@drmichellelupkin.com.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.